Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. We gotta talk about Phil once again, and of course this time it is just downright embarrassing. And I'm not even talking underwear embarrassing, I'm talking more so for the sake of his wife. And that is right, folks. If you were wondering when Phil was going to address the cat-sized elephant in the room, that would be today, because Phil actually did fight back against, well, I won't say fight back because it really wasn't much of a fight. It was more like a, can you give me the context of why you called my wife fat? Which, if it was myself, there would be no context needed. I would be pushing back on that immediately because you don't do that. But because Phil is an absolute cuck, that is the reality we are in. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Go ahead and see for yourself what I'm talking about.
Time for this. Phil, what do we have?
PPP, I gotta call you out on something, all right? People have been giving me shit for months on this one. It's time for a little bit of grill action tonight.
PPP?
I'm gonna grill you tonight a little bit.
You got me.
You ready? I'm serious. It's gonna be a hot seat question, but don't worry, I'm not a jerk about it, okay?
Oh my God, it's over for me.
People have been saying this for months, so I'm just gonna bring it up, and I want to hear what you have to say about it, all right? Is it true that publicly on your show, at some point, I don't know when, you publicly insulted my wife and how she looks? Is this true?
It's true. It's true.
Okay, and when was this, and what context was this? Because I'm not aware, and I want to hear what actually happened.
Here's what happened, Phil. So we cover all sorts of lolcows, all sorts of jokers on our show. You are considered one of the greatest lolcows of all time. You are considered a lolcow just like one step below Chris Chan. There's a cult of people who hate you, obsess over your every move, chronicle everything you do. So it's like we tried to throw you into the rotation. The thing was, I always found it really fucking boring. I was like, okay, it's the same shit. He asks for money, and sometimes he loses in Street Fighter, but you're picking the clips where he's fucking doing bad, but sometimes he does good, whatever the fuck. So we covered the clip where you introduced Kat, reintroduced Kat, and she had gained a bunch of weight. And so we're like, whoa, buddy, his wife's fucking fat. She's this, she's that. But you got to understand, we do that to everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody that we cover on the show, we shit on ruthlessly. We dog on them. We say this, we say that. My personal opinion would have been, and my personal advice would be, and I think you agree with this, is to keep your personal life as private as possible. Mm-hmm. And the problem when you introduce your wife, you should be able to show your wife on stream. It should be able, to show that dynamic. But every single person who's ever showed their wife or girlfriend online in drama communities, lolcow communities, it never goes well. Like even Spoonie back in the day when he introduced Scarlett, it was a scandal. People lost their shit. They called her fat. They called her ugly. All sorts of shit. So it's a long-running tradition that wives and girlfriends in these online spaces get dumped on, get shit on. Is it necessarily right? No, not really. It's kind of nasty and cruel and vindictive, but you open yourself up to it when you bring your family members on stream. And so that's the situation, and that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and this was before we had ever even met, right? Before we had talked or anything, right? Like, I don't think I've been on your show or anything because you said this was when you were first covering me.
This is, so the thing is, I haven't said anything nasty about your wife since then because I don't think it's nice. And I know that it actually would bother you and it would make you upset. And I like you, Phil, and I consider you a pal. And so I don't want to do anything to Phil that would genuinely hurt him and his relationship with his wife or negatively hurt the way that he views his wife because they're married. They live their life together. It's their life. It's really not anybody else's fucking business how Phil chooses to live his life with his wife or what their eating habits are or whatever the fuck. But unfortunately, when you do bring them on camera, it opens it up to criticism and mockery and stuff like that. So that's my position on it, and that's basically the way it is. I feel a little bit bad about it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty. This is the first time I've heard any of this because all I hear is stuff secondhand, third hand. You don't know what to believe, right? And so people have been grilling me for weeks saying, every week there's a Grill Phil segment. What about that? That's one thing that happened, bring it up. So now let's ask the public, okay? We have hundreds of people here watching here tonight. Should I accept this? Should I say this is a good answer? Or should I be upset?
I don't know, man. It's up to you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say, man. You talk, the thing is, you talk so much shit as a drama YouTuber or whatever. a lot of the time you never expect the person to actually hear what you said.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You know what? Someone actually just made a good point. They said nowhere in what you just said did you actually apologize. You actually just kind of
Well,
explained. But you
I
didn't say-
just justified my behavior. You know what I mean? I justified my behavior.
Well, or let me ask you this: now that you know me as a person, are you sorry that you kind of said that stuff, or are you standing on your laurels that no, it's okay to do that because he put his wife on the internet? What's your take on that?
Well, I stand by my statements, but at the same time, I do feel bad about them. So I do think that it is what you put online is fair game for criticism and mockery. That being said, is it a nasty thing that I said? Absolutely. And I'm sorry, Phil. If that hurt your feelings or your wife's feelings, I feel bad about that. I apologize, Phil, because I love you, brother. And I want you to have a happy life. I don't want you to feel bad about yourself, you know?
Thank you. That was actually very nice that you just said that. And the thing is, you said you would not do it again, right? And you haven't. You haven't since then, since we've been, had interaction, and now we're friendly. We're doing a show together. You haven't talked like that again. And so, for me, you think is it the king down?
We have to bow down to the king. We have to say, King Phil, we're sorry. We're sorry. Forgive us, Phil.
Well, listen.
Forgive me, Phil.
I'm the kind of guy, all right, that I look at everything. I look at the big picture, right? And I look at the last 6+ months that we've had interaction. You guys have had me on your show. You've sent a lot of your viewers my way. You've allowed me to be seen in a different light that I really haven't been seen in a long time. And quite frankly, even though we're doing these segments that are grill Phil and they're fun to do, right? They're in good feeling. Like, there's nothing really mean-spirited in the stuff that we're doing. I don't feel that. I think it's fun to do. It's silly. I have a good time with it. It's not like you're ever shockingly hitting me with left field questions that are so insulting or anything like that. And I feel that. I feel that level of respect.
This is the real after-school special. We're going to hug and hold
That's right.
hands and kiss. Everybody, let's all be friends and sing Kumbaya. Phil got his dig back in. He put me on the hot seat. I'm like, what the fuck do I say? What do you say about that?
Well, hold on, I didn't give you my verdict, and my verdict is you're out of here. I'm banning you from the show right now. You're off the show permanently. He's gone. It's just me. Smart guy from now on. That's it. No forgiveness.
Suffer, PPP. Suffer. I'm
All right.
kicked off the show. Fuck.
I kicked you off the show. This is Lolcow Live now, apparently. So now we have to try to get you back
we
on.
have to do some more fake scripted drama. Next time, I'll give you some better talking points. No, you will apologize to me and my wife right now. It's over.
That's right. The I'm sorry tattoo on your face. You have to get it.
Yeah. We're gonna do the punishments and the tattoos and the whole fucking night. Oh no, buddy. Oh no. Okay, so we've managed to do a wrestling show that's not about wrestling.
That's right.
It's amazing.
And yes, unfortunately, Phil has zero backbone at all. As a married-style man, I can confidently say that if anybody was to ever talk bad about my wife, you can best believe I would be defending her. And the fact that Phil doesn't even have the balls to say anything in regards to the disrespect that his wife was shown, I think that's just low. But this interaction actually kind of sparked a different thought in my mind as well, which was how low. I mean, we already know Phil goes low, but how much is Phil willing to accept before he can understand that PPP, that's what I like to call him, Triple P, is a detractor. Like, I don't understand how Triple P gets away with saying some of the stuff he does, and Phil doesn't push back on it at all, which I know part of it is because of the audience he was gifted, but still, if you're going to be proud of the content you produce, which it's nothing to be proud of, but if you're going to be, or pretend to be, why would you let somebody like him just constantly degrade you? It does kind of make you wonder if there's something else going on, or if maybe Phil is actually this afraid of upsetting somebody. And that's another weird thing too. I don't really know that Phil would be upset about like upsetting him, because I mean, he does it to everybody. He did it to Craig, he did it to Review Tech, he did it to Keemstar. So I don't really understand where that narrative would come from, but it is possible that because he actually finally has an in with some type of community, that maybe he's just trying to write it out as much as he can reasonably do. And to switch gears from Phil for just a second, I also think it's really strange how Triple P, I really don't understand what his end game is, to be frank. I know part of it is I used to think that it was him trolling until, reaching a point where he can, no longer troll. But I gotta be honest, I'm kind of starting to wonder whether or not his loyalties are starting to falter a little bit. I specifically say that because of the comment he makes about him being a pal with Phil, and he really feels like he's developed a nice little friendship with him, which I gotta be honest, man, that just kind of ekes me out a little bit. Like, making friends with a lolcow is never a good idea, especially when that lolcow begs his audience for money 24/7 and you've adopted some of his habits. That's just a really weird look, man. Even more so, I know that originally the thought was that, oh, you know, it's a bad idea for somebody to be on Phil's side, but not even just somebody to be on Phil's side, but for somebody to gas him up to the point that is just absolute cringe. I don't understand the end game here. I mean, like, I could understand if we kind of had a clearer picture, because that's kind of one of the fun things about Phil in general, is most of the time everybody kind of knows what's going on except for him. But this is one of those rare times where somebody else is involved, and I don't really know what's going on there either. Let's go ahead and switch gears though to another topic of Phil, and that of course is Phil's like realization that his entire chat is essentially LARPers, which I gotta be honest, man, it's been like that for at least a couple years, and probably longer. I don't understand why it took him so long to realize that that's what was going on, and I know he doesn't explicitly say that, but like, you can kind of understand from this clip that I'm about to show you that he clearly is understanding that it's not a normal audience. Like, it's not an audience of people that are fans of his, but at the same time, it does beg the question, do you even know who your real fans are anymore? Just go ahead and take a look at what I mean.
350, we're going to do a special milestone. So we have done a ton of DSP Tries It in the last 2 months, right? We have been doing things like Taco Bell, Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, but then we've also done other ones as well, other things that I've ordered from, like Katsu Burger, or the Japanese place that's really high-end Japanese food and stuff like that. So we've done a variety of DSP Tries It, okay? Now, we were talking about this week, we were either going to do Taco Bell has a new menu of dippable burritos, a special new kind of fries, and frozen drinks that they didn't have previous, okay? Or, one of the other things that we discussed that I thought was a good idea was Arby's. So, those are my ideas, and people seemed to be all right with it. But there was this vocal group of people who were sitting around constantly complaining. Constantly. How dare you keep doing this as the reward? We don't like this reward. This reward doesn't make sense. How is you eating food a reward for us? Yeah. Now, I actually talked about this last night on the Smart Guy Show, because during the Grill Phil segment, this is one of the things that PPP brought up. Huge right now on the internet. Number one, I used to do this ages ago as a regular show that was popular. DSP Tries It was a thing for many, many years, and it was getting tens of thousands, sometimes 20, 30,000, 50,000 views on a video when I put them out. Okay, now, I stopped doing the show when it stopped being profitable, and when I didn't want to be eating fast food all the time. Now, that was a different time. I actually weighed a lot more. I was way less healthy than now. So it's not really that big of a deal if, like, once a week now, I'm going to be eating fast food. It's, you know, I just weighed myself. I'm 196 pounds. So it's, I'm not egregiously overweight like I used to be or anything like that, okay? Now, why did we even bring back DSP Tries It, okay? We brought it back because you guys wanted it. People were asking me for years, where is DSP Tries It? Why have you stopped doing it? We liked the show, and we're sad that you stopped doing it. And I explained, the reason I stopped doing it is because, no, the reward isn't that I eat. It's that I brought back a show that was popular that I stopped doing because it wasn't profitable. But now I don't care if it's profitable, because I can do it because you guys are supporting me so much, and you've asked for it for so long. I'm giving you what you want. It's content that's popular on the internet and people like. In fact, the DSP Tries It videos are pretty much big views on DSP Reacts. They get 1,000 views minimum. Sometimes way over that. As opposed to, when I was doing my
vocal
react show,
minority,
the videos were getting like 200
you always get in trouble. All right? So I shouldn't have listened to the vocal minority. I should have stuck with my gut, and I should have stayed the course, and I should have kept doing what I was doing, but I'm a fool sometimes, okay? The vocal minority, who are basically people who come into my stream chats and whine and complain, who say, oh, we don't want DSP Tries It because you eating is a reward for you, not us, right? But then when I ask, well, what would you like instead of DSP Tries It? I get things like, oh, why don't you do a giveaway? A giveaway. So instead of me doing a video or a stream of me trying fast food and rating it and you getting some content and everyone can enjoy that content because it's public content, you would rather I give something away that only literally one person will ever benefit from. How does that make sense? How does that even make sense? It makes no fucking sense at all, right? It makes zero sense. How does that make any sense? Okay, and I compare this to back in the day, I used to do giveaways all fall. Every week for 3 to 4 months, I was giving away games, collectibles, I was autographing stuff. I gave away a PlayStation 4. And the funny part is no one wants to talk about that. Everyone's, oh, that never happened. Feels greedy and selfish. No, literally, I did it all the time. The thing was, it didn't really please too many people because only like 12 people a year got anything. Versus if I'm making content that everyone can watch as a response to support, everyone can watch it and enjoy it. Making the content special versus just giving something away to one person, well, how can you even compare the two? It's really stupid, right? So I don't think giveaways are the answer. I think giveaways only please a very small group of people. You know, I think it's a dumb thing. So instead of that, I've been doing these videos, all right? So someone had an idea. I can't remember if it was Super Bonchan or someone else, okay? It was someone said, you know, on Amazon, they have these kind of treat boxes where you can get a box that's like a bunch of stuff in one box, and you could do like a testing of things out of the box as a DSP Tries It instead of just doing fast food. Again, because you've done fast food so many times at this point, right? It might just be cool to do something different. So I ordered one. It's called the Sakura box, and there's different levels of these that you can get on Amazon. I got the one that has 30 different snack items inside. And basically what would happen is if I hit my goals, and I hit 90 this week, because that was the goal for this week, I would open the box, and we would pick 10 items out of the box to try live. So it would be like, 3 minutes per item, taste each one, see what they're like, and go from there. And I thought to myself, this is a good idea. This means every single time that we hit a goal, there's an incentive because there's an instant reward, right? And there's many of these on Amazon. There's a European box, there's a Turkish box, there's a Korean box. So I could basically get various different ones, and this could last a while. I could have enough to last another 100, 200 goals possibly, all right? I'm not saying that it's going to be going forever, but it's kind of an interesting idea, right? So I said, sounds good. Let's do it. And guess what? This week, momentum definitely slowed down and died, meaning I don't think there's many or any people who are super interested in this box. I think way more people were interested in seeing me do the weekly fast food DSP tries it, going to Arby's, going to Taco Bell, trying the new items, and then every once in a while mixing it up and ordering from somewhere different. That was appealing to the masses way more than something like this. The difference is, that was the silent majority. These are the people who watch and support, but they're not going to sit here in the stream chat every day and give me the direct feedback and be like, oh, we really don't like this, That's definitely what I need to do. I need to stop listening to the naysayers, to the people who complain about everything and just say it's not good enough. Because the truth is, my content is good enough, or I wouldn't be here right now, right? And I've made massive improvements to my content over the last year that people really appreciate and enjoy. I'm constantly doing improvements even further. I got this new angle, which I'm working on improving. In fact, new lighting is arriving today that will hopefully make this camera angle better, and perhaps we can use this camera angle to actually do face cam. We've got all kinds of good stuff going on, so why am I getting down on myself and listening to complainers, right? I actually don't know, all right? I don't know. So I'm not going to anymore, all right? So what I want to know is, what do you guys want, right? What do you guys want? See, here they are. Here's the naysayers. And these are the people who come in with all these stupid sock accounts every day. There's literally one in each chat right now saying crap. And it's like, why do I listen to them?
I don't know.
I don't know. I should just immediately ban on site and just completely disregard any of their... You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'll even let it get to me or listen to people complain. We don't like DSP tries it, so don't fucking watch it, stupid. Right? I do DSP tries it like once a week when we hit the goals, so don't watch that content and shut the fuck up. You don't support anyway, because that's the truth. The people who complain don't support. Let me repeat that. The people who complain don't support. Let me repeat that.
The people that complain do not support. So why do I care about what they're complaining about when they don't support? And the answer is, I shouldn't care. So I don't. Okay?
I appreciate, whoa, that's the wrong screen. I appreciate those of you who are here, who do support, who like the content, who give constructive feedback. For example, Super Bonchan saying, hey, that box would be great. You can do instant gratification whenever we hit a goal, do a little mini tries it on each snack or on one snack when we do it. That's amazingly positive, constructive support. That's the kind of feedback I need. Nah, we just don't like what you do. Could you maybe do, how about a fan lobby so that all the trolls can come in and ruin your stream and then we can all laugh and say, ha, he's an idiot and he fell for it. No, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm done falling for the bullshit, okay? If something is working, I'm not going to listen to little wimps and sissies and bitches who just want to say everything is not good enough because you're not helping me and I don't know why I'm listening, all right? And what I'd also like to say is, those of you who are here, please be the voice of reason because I know for a fact that there are many people here who like what I'm doing, all right? Who enjoy the content and then they see me react to this stuff and they're like, why did Phil just do that, right? You're right. I don't know why. I literally, this box is a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea for DSP Tries It. I think it's a good idea for something else. Let's do a mini reward every time we hit a goal. But who's going to want to sit here and watch me eat 10 snacks in a row? 10 snacks in a row? No. If I'm eating a fast food meal from a singular place, here's their new menu items, right? That's coherent. That makes sense. I'm going to eat 10 unrelated Japanese snacks in a row, everyone. Huh? Oh. It doesn't even make sense when you really think about it, right? I think that listening to all of everyone's feedback and pooling it together and more positively considering it in a rational manner is going to work better than me making knee-jerk reaction decisions like, oh, everyone's complaining about DSP Tries It, let's change it entirely. Here's the question. We're at 87 goals hit. First off, today's the final day of the month. All right? And I just want to say, I really hope that we do have a strong final day of the month. Because the idea was that we were going to hit 90 this week, and then next week we were going to hit 100 so I could do this viewer's choice marathon. All right? That was the idea.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really understand what Phil's point is with this, because yes, I agree he shouldn't have been listening to toxic and negative people in his chat, but at the same time, I think he's genuinely conflating that with positive, or not even positive, but constructive criticism. I don't think he knows how to tell the difference anymore. Which, don't get me wrong, I mean, if you're in a community, or you've built yourself a community where you literally can't tell who your real fans are and who's trolling you, that is a terrifying place to be, especially if you've made the better half of 16 to almost 17 years of doing that. Man, I mean, think about this, right? We are approaching 20 years of Phil being on YouTube. And in that time, I'm not sure Phil has ever done the right thing, ever. Like, I think it'd be more self-respectable to have been working a 9 to 5, or to be working at a fast food restaurant and become a manager or something. I don't know, do anything that has a modicum of self-respect. But honestly, Phil has done nothing but just make this hellhole in a pit that he lives in for almost 20 years. And the fact that he's brought people into it just sucks. I mean, you don't get a lifetime achievement for being a lolcow unless you are just consistently awful and the worst. And Phil has definitely proven that he can live up to that task, no problem. I will say though, I am really genuinely curious how this year is going to pan out for him, because the money ship keeps sinking. Like, unless he finds a way to recruit another whale or bring back existing whales, I don't see how he's gonna not make it through 2025, because he'll definitely make it through there. But my curiosity is, how low will he go, or how low will his income be by the end of 2025? Because ultimately it seems like it shrinks more and more every year. At the end of the day, Phil's going to keep on doing what he always does, but that does beg the question, no pun intended, what happens next? What's the logical end game to the Kino Casino arc? How much further are we going to push Smart Guys, and what else is Phil going to explode about? Because I really do feel like we have a big explosion from him coming soon, but I don't know if we've already seen it or if there's something else to come. Because realistically, even though this little blow up at the LARPers was pretty salty, it didn't have the same energy that the Eat It rant had, so I'm very curious. What do you guys think? I appreciate it if you've made it through this video. I would love to know what you guys think overall of the Kino Casino arcs, and just overall what is going to happen. I mean, I'm really curious to see how things are going to play out with this, because we know Phil's life is kind of like a TV show that never stops, but I'll be very curious to know what happens next. So comment below and let me know. As always, guys, take care of yourself and stay safe out there.